going on, you guys? So, Keith Thurman. Last time we heard about Keith, it was rumored to be that he was in negotiations with Dennis Ugas, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. Dennis Ugas is fighting, I believe the dude's name is Fabian Maidana or something. I believe it's Maidana's brother or something like that, they said. I'm not sure. But that's who Dennis Ugas is fighting on the Pacquiao Spence undercard. And now Keith Thurman is kind of left out in the open. And now you're hearing him say guys like Jermell Charlo and Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, oh man. I mean, Keith Thurman's been inactive for a while. Okay, last time we seen him was the last time we seen Manny, and Manny's about to be actually fighting before Keith. So yeah, we don't know what to expect from Keith Thurman, but he said his options are looking like it could be Jermell Charlo, Tank Davis, and Jamal James. No, I'm sorry, Dennis Ugas. But Dennis Ugas is fighting, so maybe they wait until after Ugas fights this guy. Maybe they wait till after Ugas fights the Maidana guy, and then they go hop on him. But, I mean, I felt that fight should have just been happening now. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what is Keith going to do? Well, they talking about fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, what are they doing with Tank? It's mind-boggling. I mean, the Mario Barrios was enough for me to show me that Tank Davis is a pound-for-pound guy. You know, he can move up in weight, and he probably give a lot of guys trouble with his speed and everything else that comes with Tank Davis. But moving up to fight Keith Thurman, even though Keith Thurman has been on a layoff and he's not necessarily, I don't know if I like even the sounds of that. Like, what is the purpose of having Tank Davis move up multiple weight classes to fight? Like, for what? Like, there's plenty of guys down there for Tank to beat up on, instead of him just moving up in weight, and then if he takes a loss, oh well, he's supposed to lose anyway. You know what I'm saying? They have like a built-in excuse for him. So I don't know what's the angle here. Well, I was even hearing these type of rumors that guys like Keith Thurman is fighting Tank Davis. It just doesn't make sense. You know, it just doesn't make sense to your boy Bushido. I just don't get it. But I mean, if it could happen, I mean, brace yourself for another freak show fight. I mean, I don't know. Keith Thurman's he's not the biggest welterweight, but he's not necessarily the smallest either. You know, and he's one of the best welterweights. Even though we haven't seen him in a while, Keith Thurman knows what he's doing in there. So, yeah, that'll be interesting for Keith Thurman. You know, Keith Thurman versus Tank, that's just something that never would have crossed my mind if you asked me 2 or 3 years ago. It just wouldn't even been a question. You know, I'll be thinking Tank is fighting, you know, the lightweights, you know, mixing up with those guys, the guys his age, the guys that he really should be fighting anyway. I don't really understand why we even hearing about Tank fighting guys like Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman. I don't understand it. Funny though, Keith Thurman wasn't as welcoming to the boogeyman Terrence Bud Crawford as he is to Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, when Terrence Crawford was moving up to 147, they came up with every excuse in the world. He didn't fight nobody. He needs to fight someone else. He needs to fight Amir Khan. He needs to do this and that and third. I'm just saying. But this is what's happening. I don't know what they plan on doing with Tank. But whatever the case, Keith Thurman needs opponents. He said that he'll be willing to fight Jermell Charlo and get those belts if it can lure Errol Spence out. So Keith Thurman seems like he's on a mission to fight Errol Spence Jr. You know, he said if this guy puts all his energy into not fighting me, then what could I do? You know what I'm saying? He put all his energy into not fighting me. He said that Errol Spence is a boring fighter. I mean, he's been really taking shots at Errol Spence Jr. I think Errol Spence Jr. at one point, he's going to have to answer this call with Keith Thurman. You can't keep ignoring this guy. He's going to be talking shit, and he's going to continue to do so until you take the bait.
Whack sparring session people paid for. Whack. You know what I'm saying? Him versus Porter. That fight was good. Because Porter made it good.
You know, but the whole Tank Davis, Keith Thurman thing is just, it's crazy. You know, I want to wait a few days. I've been heard about it, but I want to wait a few days and see what was really going on. And I think that's a real thing. You know, I don't know. But what's next for Keith? It's not Ugas. It's not looking like it's Mikey, because Mikey supposed to be fighting Prograis. So they should be close to closing a deal with them. We haven't heard nothing. It's been quiet. Who else? Who else for Keith? I mean, Jamal James. I mean, yeah, Custio Clay. There's some guys he could fight, but will he fight them? You know? Really interesting, man. We thought Keith was going to be fighting Ugas. We thought we was going to have this little mini welterweight tournament. But it's looking like Ugas is fighting somebody. Really, that undercard is not really appealing. Honestly, it's a lot of guys that Floyd beat already years ago and shit on the card. You know, it's not really the most appealing card. And honestly, the main event, they're not really doing much to move the needle to get you hype about the fight. However, it's just the matchup itself that gets fans intrigued. You know, Errol Spence and Manny is not going to be out here doing too much talking. Now, if Keith Thurman was in the mix, he'll do some talking. You know what I'm saying? And then Errol Spence needs that type of opponent, you know, a villain that's going to talk a lot of trash, because a lot of his guys he fought ain't really been trash talkers or nothing. It's been really nice dudes, respectful, and guys that may have seen something. But he needs somebody that's going to be up in there talking shit, got to give the gab, get the fans really interested in the matchup and shit like that. You know, I don't know, man. What's up with Keith Thurman, man? 2 years off, you know, his hair got cut and, you know, his lining is, but, you know, he might be bald next time we see him. You know, that lining ain't looking too hot for Keith, but, I don't know, man. We need one time back in boxing. Despite all that, right? Keith Thurman is really good for boxing. He knows how to really rock the mic. And I mean, just Keith Thurman, just his energy. His energy is really good for the sport. We just need to see this dude back. I don't know if Tank Davis is the right fight. I don't know if that's the right move. I mean, what if Tank Davis moves up and whoops on Keith? You know what I'm saying? That would be a really bad look for Keith. But we're going to see what Keith from one time Thurman decides to do. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.
You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.